The unofficial book theme of 2026 has to be the female anti hero and watching them slowly implode, and this seems to be the latest edition of that trope. We're only 3 months into the year, and yet between Half His Age, Just Watch Me, Mother Faker, Yesteryear, Murder Bimbo, now this, we are spoiled for choice on books where the system punishes a woman, but the woman punishes the system back to varying degrees of success. I quite enjoyed Under the Hammer, so thank you to Verve for my copy of this one. Thank you to Samantha herself for signing it. Love that. And yeah, I think if you're in the mood for dark entertainment where it's funny but it has quite an edge to it and it's very timely, it's a cautionary tale about the property crisis and scummy landlords getting their just desserts. There's a lot to enjoy here. Samantha is also a Scottish author. The book takes place largely in and around the town of Hamilton. I know I have lots of followers who are from Scotland, so it's always fun to support a Scottish author. It's definitely the sort of book that plays with realism. Like, you can't think about it too hard. You have to suspend your disbelief to properly enjoy it. If you take it too seriously and you start pulling threads, the whole carpet's going to fall apart. It's one of those books where I like it, but I can't think about it too much because the accounting by the end is just not going to add up. Gosh, I'm using a lot of idioms, aren't I? If you were a fan of Leo Torenberg's Just Watch Me, this book is incredibly similar. I think this is a great book to read next because both of them have main characters who are down and out millennials. There's like a romantic B plot with a non-binary character. The main characters both have like a fraught relationship with their parents. There were plenty of similarities to hold on to, and it's very telling about the generational cost of living struggle that is affecting millennials in particular at the moment. And in Just Watch Me, it's about the health insurance of it all and how difficult it is in countries like America to afford healthcare. In this one, we're in Scotland, and the struggle is very much property and how it's practically unlivable. Landlords who are so greedy and stockpile this huge portfolio of places to live, and how the unfairness of it, something's got to give. Because they are so similar, if you were to do a direct comparison between these two books, I do think Just Watch Me has the edge, just ever so slightly. I think what it really comes down to is that in that book, there's a much clearer sense of the main character's motivations, and there's a deadline. We know what the stakes are. In this, I kept going in and out of how much I knew her. Sometimes she felt very much like a doe-eyed ingenue who like had never done a dark thing in her life. And then in other parts of the story, it was like, oh no, she's messed up. But I never could quite put my finger on why. Like, what was going on with her? Why did she suddenly have the bloodlust? Because I get it. It takes a certain kind of evil to be a landlord, a person who commodifies something as essential as a living situation for other people. That's pretty low. I get it. But it so quickly spiraled where she was like, oh, I'll just kill them. And it was like, whoa. And it goes from like casual manslaughter, where it's almost like a Looney Tunes combination of like, oh, he had a heart attack, or oh, he was fiddling with a fuse box and electrocuted himself, to I'm now going to get a hammer and bludgeon you in the skull. And it's like, whoa, whoa, getting really difficult to root for you, main character. Something that I also struggle with a little bit, and again, this could just be the casual repetition of it because I've read so many books already this year that are very similar. It's the stand up comedian style narrator where, because the tone is very much satire and the main character is a bit of a nihilist who doesn't take anything very seriously and thinks everything's terrible, there is a sense in their narration of like joke, 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 joke. And because they're throwing out so many little like bits to make us laugh, they don't all land. And sometimes it forsakes the point of the story. Like, I wish there was just like 10% more focus in actually telling us what's happening instead of like, and then a horse walks into a bar and it's like, I already think you're funny. We don't need to keep drilling. Someone on the back described this book as, quote, it's as if Muriel Spark had written the TV series Dexter. That's such a perfect description. I probably could have just stopped there, like, end of review. Like, I think we're done here. Muriel Spark writes Dexter. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. Closing thoughts. Pretty solid debut. It's creative, it's original, a revenge tale against landlords and the despicable greed that they exhibit. Like, that's something that an audience of readers can get behind. And I thought that this author really gave a flair for their personality. Like, I'm excited to see where they go beyond this. Predictable in places, does it leave unanswered questions in other places? Sure, but I don't resent it too much for that. I think it definitely is worth picking up if you're someone who really feeds off of that femme gore, unchained female rage kind of book. Like all the ones I mentioned at the start of this video, like if that's your taste, there's a lot to love here. And I don't think you'll regret it.